Good morning or afternoon. My name is Adolfo Reyes from the World Travel and Tourism Council. It is my pleasure to introduce WTTC and our Seamless Traveler Journey initiative, which is related to the implementation and use of biometrics and digital identity in the travel sector. Before I jump into the journey, I will briefly introduce WTTC. We represent the global travel and tourism private sector. WTTC was created 30 years ago by a joint effort from the CEOs of American Express, American Airlines, British Airways, and Marriott Hotels, with the objective to unify and talk as one voice to governments and the public in general on behalf of the travel and tourism sector. We promote fair economic policy, long-term and sustainable growth. We quantify through research the impact of travel in tourism in 185 countries. WTTC is a non-profit, membership-based organization. Our members are the CEOs and chairs of more than 170 organizations from all geographies and industries related to travel in tourism, which include airports, airlines, cruise lines, tour operators, travel companies, open travel agencies, global distribution systems and technology organizations, car rental companies, hotels, digital players, and many other travel service providers. Now, moving into our topic of the day, among many other initiatives, WTTC is actively working on a strategic priority on the area of security and travel facilitation, leading a program called the Seamless Traveler Journey. On this initiative, we are advocating for an harmonized approach for the implementation of biometrics and digital identity in the travel and tourism sector. We have an opportunity to build an interoperable framework which is technology agnostic to enable an end-to-end journey that includes all travel verticals in the sector. The use of biometrics and digital identity can help us create a more safe, secure, and efficient environment. Private and public collaboration are key to deliver on all of the above, and that is where WTTC is playing a key role. You may ask, why is this important? Why do we need to support these initiatives? Well, let me give you a brief snapshot for the sector as a whole. 2018 was a good year for travel and tourism. Travel and tourism grew 3.9% last year, which is higher than the world economy or GDP, which grew at 3.2%. This is the 8th consecutive year that travel and tourism has outpaced the overall economy and the 8th consecutive year of positive growth within the sector. 10.4% of the world's GDP is generated by travel and tourism, which is supporting 319 million jobs around the world, which is 1 in 10 jobs on the planet. 1 in every 5 jobs created in 2018 came from travel and tourism related activities. And when you look at the next 10 to 15 years, the forecast remains strong, where travel and tourism will continue to outpace the global economy. IATA estimates that air travel will grow from 4.4 billion to 8.2 billion air travelers by 2035. That is almost doubling the number of travelers. Do you think it is possible to double the infrastructure in 15 years? I certainly don't think so. That is why it is very important that we start doing something now to speed up our processes and make the best use of the current infrastructure around the world. Lastly, UNWTO estimates a growth from 1.3 to 1.8 billion travelers crossing international borders. That is almost 50% more travelers going internationally. Would you be willing to wait 50% more time to cross an international border? We believe that biometrics and digital identity can help border agencies to introduce more efficient processes while making it more safe and secure. The vision from WTTC is that in the future, travelers will no longer have to repeatedly present travel documents, boarding passes, and booking confirmations multiple times to multiple stakeholders at different stages of their journey. Instead, they will be able to book transportation, request a visa, check in, proceed through security, cross borders, board the aircraft, collect their baggage, rent a car, check in and out of hotels, and access myriad destination services simply by confirming their identity and booking data. Ultimately, we believe this approach will create more jobs too, by promoting growth right across the travel and tourism sector. What we see is that transformation in the sector is already happening. There are a number of initiatives using biometrics across travel and tourism, many of them being developed in silos at different levels, sometimes within an organization, sometimes within a sector, or within one country. We need to bring these silos along to start developing an interoperable framework. That is why we are partnering and working closely with many of these initiatives. We are partnering with IATA on the One ID. We support the work that ICHRIE is doing related to the digital travel credential that may be derived from the current passport. We are partnering also with many organizations and programs like the KTDI, or the Known Traveler Digital Identity from the World Economic Forum, the Aruba Happy Flow, and IBMATA to engage with border agencies around the globe, just to mention a few. Now, with these initiatives, our stakeholders have identified potential models that may enable an end-to-end journey. One of them is the government-driven model, which is a centralized model where the government controls the collection of biometrics and verification of the traveler identity, including the security and the infrastructure and so on. In this model, government provides a platform to validate the traveler's identity at different stages in the travel process. On this area, I can highlight programs like ICHRIE in India with the largest implementation of a digital identity, more than 900 million citizens enrolled, or the US CBP, which is piloting the entry-exit system where they are merging two processes into a single step, boarding and immigration exit using facial recognition. Then we have other two models based on their attributes, per trip or per life. Models that need to be built in collaboration, where multiple organizations, including government, join forces. In both cases, a trusted framework is developed to collect, validate, and store data, including, of course, the traveler's identity and biometrics. On a per-trip attribute model, the information is captured at the beginning of the journey. The token is created containing the biometric and biographic data and is used for a single journey and discarded shortly after the trip has ended. On a per-life attribute model, the traveler can enroll at any time. The information can then be used for multiple trips and for as long as the life of the travel document. Data could be stored in a digital wallet and shared or pushed to stakeholders within the ecosystem. The goal is to identify a common interoperable framework, allowing us to engage with governments with a collective voice across the entire sector. The sector needs to create seamless traveler journey, which puts the traveler at the center and maximize the use of current infrastructure, introducing the use of solutions such as biometrics and digital identity. To wrap things up, the sector has its challenges and opportunities. Travel and tourism will continue to grow. We need to maximize the capacity on current infrastructure. The sector can create 100 million new jobs in the next 10 to 15 years. We also need to find alignment around the sector and governments to introduce the use of biometrics and digital identity. We understand that there will be more than one solution, but our end goal should aim at interoperability. There are at least 3 emerging models that need to be developed protecting privacy. There will, of course, be benefits for the entire sector, like increased security and more efficient processes that will improve the traveler's experience across the end-to-end traveler journey. From WTTC, we would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity to present this program and would like to thank you for your attention. We wish you a very successful and productive conference in the beautiful city of New Orleans. Bye-bye.